Marco for TechWeb TV, and I'm here at Interop Las Vegas 2012 on the show floor where the network world comes to show off its new products. I'm with Mike Howe, Senior Product Manager at Ixia, and they made some news this week with a new product that adds OpenFlow support to their network testing software. But I think first maybe, Mike, a lot of our viewers may not be familiar with what Ixia does, so maybe kind of walk us through some of the basic features.
Sure. So Ixia is in the test and measurement space. So we make hardware and software that can qualify performance and validate primarily prior to deployment into network services into the data center. And so with that, we're the leading equipment manufacturer for Ethernet test equipment and IP test equipment in the industry.
Wow, so I know the announcement this week was about OpenFlow.
That's right.
So what is it? I think our viewers are hearing a lot about OpenFlow, separating that network control plane and the data plane.
Right.
How does that change the way your product works?
So OpenFlow in general is an enabling technology. It really it enables software-defined networking. So for years, companies have wanted the ability to kind of program the network. And in a multi-vendor network, it's very difficult to do that because each vendor device has different programmatic interfaces, and it was really quite difficult. And you had kind of distributed intelligence where each device is running its own operating system. And so what OpenFlow does is kind of provides a common API or a command set that allows the network to be programmed. And so with that standards-based open programmable interface, OpenFlow then enables applications, software-defined networking, to run on top of an OpenFlow controller and tell the network exactly what to do. So it does enable kind of centralized intelligence, and it allows you to program your network to behave exactly what you want to do.
Right, and so Ixia then is acting as one of those applications?
Yes. So as you look at the components of an OpenFlow network, you have controllers and switches. And you either have pure OpenFlow switches or hybrid OpenFlow switches. And in the case of a hybrid, they can run traditional routing along with OpenFlow protocol. So what you have now is you have 3 vendors that have released product in the OpenFlow switching area, and you have a number of other vendors showing it working in interops like the one here at Interop, like PlugFest. So there's a number of switch vendors looking to come to market in this space supporting OpenFlow as a protocol. And Ixia is in the business of helping them test. Without us, they're forced to use open source tools, homegrown tools, so they can come to us as a partner in test to do the pre-qualification through the development cycle and the QA cycle to release high-quality products.
And will your product then work with any of these OpenFlow capable switches?
So within the standards today, OpenFlow is currently at 1.3 is coming out, but the implementations that are actually running, that switches have implemented, is version 1.0. So our solution first comes to market with version 1.0 support, and it's primarily focused around testing of the OpenFlow switch, so we can emulate the controller, populate the flow tables, which have a match action performance to match on traffic and then take action on that traffic. And then we have the integrated data plane to then validate the data plane side of it as to how well it's performing. So for the first release here, we're focused on version 1.0, which is where the industry is at. Probably towards the end of the year, implementations will be moving towards a 1.2 or 1.3.
Sure. So what kind of tests or what kind of capabilities are people using your product?
Yeah.
What are they doing with it?
That's a great question. And before Ixia came to market with this, there were some open source tools. One is called OF Test, which was kind of a suite of open source that could conformance test. It's roughly 40 or so tests. We've taken that and built that into an off-the-shelf conformance tester in IX Anvil that we have over 100 test cases now. When the product releases, it'll probably have closer to 200 test cases around OpenFlow conformance, and that will be in alignment with the ONF standardization for testing. The other thing that was pre-existing was something called OFLOPS. It's kind of performance-oriented around testing the forwarding of OpenFlow switch. And with that, we have IX Network, our flagship application for testing control plane and data plane integrated. So we emulate the OpenFlow protocol, can populate the forwarding table, test the forwarding table, and then do other interactive events like stat requests and interactive things to stress the switch and ensure that in addition to just forwarding traffic, it's able to keep up with the commands coming from the controller to tell it to add flow, delete flow, modify flow as it's forwarding traffic.
It might be helpful for the viewers to maybe get a look at how maybe your product is set up in a network test environment,
sure.
Maybe what some of the interface looks like. So why don't we go to that?
Sounds good. So in this demonstration we're running here at Interop, we have our IX network running OpenFlow, and you can see by this kind of topology diagram, what we're doing is we're connecting via TCP session to the device under test, in this case, which is a pure OpenFlow switch. It's running open source code called Indigo. And we're pushing down flow adds, so we're actually building the flow table that you see here in this device, and then we're sending traffic over that. Now, what we're pushing down is match action based on layer 2 Ethernet, and we can push down flow tables entries that have different priorities. So we can validate via our traffic engine that traffic is not only passing successfully, that it's being forwarded on the primary path. Then we can push down a flow delete of the primary path, forcing the switch to switch over to an alternate path, and we can measure that convergence time. So in this demonstration, it's a mix of control plane, of running the OpenFlow protocol to tell the switch what to do, and then stressing the data plane by forwarding traffic over it, and then causing a change scenario to actually make a meaningful measurement of how quickly it can fail over.
So thanks for that demo, Mike. That was very helpful. So when is the OpenFlow capability going to be available?
So our product line with IX Network and IX Anvil enter beta here, a customer beta in May. So we're already upon our customer beta. And we're going to go through that beta period and release with our release train later this summer.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, Michael Howard, for Ixia.
Thank you.
For TechWeb TV at Interop 2012 in Las Vegas, I'm Kurt Marco.